thought I'd do a little demo of Gitopolis because I haven't really shown off this thing. This is an open source tool I've been working on for some time. This tool is designed to allow you to manage a whole load of local Git repositories easily. I tried a bunch of tools before. I also wanted to learn Rust and didn't quite get on with the tools I found. They do get a mention at the bottom of the README. The one I used previously was called Git. Does the job. I just could never quite get the hang of the command syntax, and seeing as I was looking for a project at the time, I created this. So after some time, we're up to 39 stars, which is pretty cool. 54 releases, because I have an automated build pipeline, and a pretty good project overall. I've been using it for client projects. I've been helping people use it, and I'm pretty happy with it at the moment. So I thought I'd give you a quick demo. So it's a command line tool. This is it. Has built-in help thanks to the clap command line argument parser library from the Rust crate ecosystem. We can look at help for subcommands, and if you just forget to do things, it'll tell you what you've missed, which is all lovely. So I'm probably wondering what the purpose of this is. So here we have an empty directory. These are just alias reminders because I forgot to use L instead of ls. So what we can do is we can go and find a few Git repos to clone. Quite a common use case, a whole bunch of microservices, keep up to date with the team, be able to like flip between them easily, reclone onto new machines, that kind of thing. So I will pick some of my recent projects. I'll pick a couple. I won't have Gitopolis because that'll get really confusing. But let's have solution editor, solution item sync, and fake Cosmos, I think. Maybe, we probably want a Rust one in there. What have we got that's Rust? Let's have a proper look at the repo list. Oh, desktop backup. Yes, of course. So you can use it as you normally would. I will... that's annoying. It's not logged in, so it's not going to give me the HTTPS clone. That's very annoying. I'm just going to copy that and just do a normal git clone. So let's see if I can get this right. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, you have to put the colon in, don't you? So you get for making these things up. Right, there we go. So at this point, Gitopolis has got nothing to do with what we're doing here. It's just a normal git clone. So you can see that there is a .git folder in there. It's like a normal, nothing going on here at the moment. Gitopolis still not doing anything interesting. List is just empty. But at this point we can say, actually add the solution editor. So far not very exciting. But now list knows about it. Again, not super useful yet. So let's do another one. I'm going to have to do these clone URLs from hand, which is kind of annoying. I don't know why it's not going to tell me the SSH URL. By the way, the .git on the end is optional. So I'm going to do this one a different way, which I think will work. Clone. See if I get this right. Git at github.com :thing. Did I get it right? I did get it right. So this basically combined the previous two steps into one. So we've still got the two repos, normal Git repos, but it's also added them to Gitopolis' understanding. And as you can see, there's this file which has appeared magically. And that is where it keeps its understanding of what's available. So this basically just represents what we already know. excuse me, the URL that we got it from, that is the origin, and a name. This is in TOML format, which is designed to be easy to and fro between in-memory representations. It's a little bit odd. I tend to find people I'm showing this get a bit tripped up by it. This bit here is all one section, and then this bit here is all another section. Even though it's got a gap between, and it's this kind of weird double bracket thing that means an array of thingamajigs, or a list of thingamajigs. In this case, repos. But once you get used to it, it's kind of okay. It could be a little bit tidier. Whether it was the right format, well, endless bike shedding on things, but it's been okay using it in anger. Let's clone a couple more, and I can show you some more other things that it does. So let's go grab this one. And I'll do a normal git clone on this one. Git I'll leave the git on the end because whatever. And one more, just so we've got something to work with. And I'm again going to do this with just the normal git clone. So this is a little bit like coming into a folder that you've already got all your repos cloned, so you don't have to come in from scratch with gitopolis. It's quite happy to carry on where you left off. So it only knows about 2 of them, and thanks to the magic of shell globbing, which will expand that into everything. So gitopolis isn't interpreting the star, the bash shell is interpreting that. Because if I go echo star, you can see it's expanded star out into all 4. So then that's passed into gitopolis. It then adds the 2 it doesn't know about, and it just happily skips anything that's already there just to make it really easy. You just be like, everything in this folder, add, great. Incidentally, you can put stuff in subfolders. It's quite happy with that. I'm not going to do that now. So far, not very valuable. But now we've got a bunch. We can show something a bit more useful. So if you wanted to, common thing, just get up to date with all the repos. Now we can use exec, which will. That really should require an argument, shouldn't it? Always the way. Find an interesting edge case in a demo. That will allow you to run anything on all the repos. So in the same way that we've got list and it understands it, then we can run exec and then run git pull in everything. The dash is it's a convention I've seen in other command line tools that allows you to separate arguments for gitopolis from arguments for git or whatever it is you're passing in. I won't go further into that. That's what it's for. And there you go. This is it doing its magic. So obviously, if someone else had pushed, or you want to make sure, like if you're going to hunt through the code base on your machine, you don't really want to be out of date, especially if you're going to tell people, oh, it's definitely like this, then that wouldn't be fantastic. If you wanted to see what's recent, you could do like a one-line, show me what the recent logs are. That's obviously a bit noisy, so you might use the simpler format. I've got one pre-canned. This is an alias I have just to get it into. I only want like the recent 1 or 2 or whatever. I mean, it gets really powerful for seeing what's new. You can even say like since yesterday or since last month or whatever. And then if I go back to the 1, Obviously, that's quite a lot to read. It's not very easy to process. So I've got a one-line command, which just allows you to get each repo and then the output from whatever the command was flattened into one line. And if you gave it multi-line, it'll still flatten it in. It just becomes a bit unwieldy because they just come one after the other. So this then allows you to do further processing nicely with normal Unix things. So you could do, I don't know, what should we do? Grep for, what's interesting on here? What makes them different? Adjust or something common. So we could search for ASDF, or we could search for chore, I don't know, whatever it is you're looking for, a name, version info, or you could stick it through awk and get like just the dates. And I added some capabilities to make this kind of a bit more useful as a tool, which is the ability to quote the stuff you're passing to exec, because it turns out what you might want to do is go trying to think of an example off the top of my head. And it doesn't even have to be git commands, so you can even go cat readme, and if they've all got them, boom, there it is. That's obviously messy, so you might want to say, oh, how many lines are there in every readme? This doesn't work because what it's doing is it's executing. So gitopolis is executing cat readme for every repo. It's outputting its output, and then the entire result is piped into word count lines. So you get 4 lines, one for each repo. But we want to know how long is the readme in each. So if we quote that, now we get, this is the, maybe if I just take the one line off a second, it'll make a bit more sense. For discard backup, if you run cat readme into word count, it's a long one. Fake Cosmos, even longer, possibly because I had the AI help with that one. Solution item sync, a bit shorter. So it's kind of interesting. And then obviously with the one line, now you can even like sort it, sum it, whatever. Very cool for doing analysis of what's in a lot of repos. Quite handy if you're picking up a legacy project that's like, say, microservices, or you're a tech lead or principal engineer, and you want to like get a feel for what lots of developers are up to across lots of repos, or even if you just got loads of projects going on yourself. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. It took a little while to do. There is one little caveat, which is the full. So like I've got LL as a shell alias. I can't run that because I'm not running a full subshell. I'm literally doing, gitopolis is literally figuring out that this is quoted and doing the sensible thing. It's remarkably difficult to get right, but I think it works well for most use cases. Please do open an issue if you find any interesting cases. Won't make any promises about what we'll do about it. We being me. So that's already kind of useful. Like that's good enough to be useful for me. If you've got a ton of microservices, then the tagging becomes useful. So we have no tags listed here, but we could say tag C#. So you could tag this with team names or technologies, or anything you feel like. Have I missed any? So these are all C# ones. And then if we go Rust for the discog one, and then text looks like this. It's got a long mode, which allows you to see it all at once, as does list, incidentally. Allows you to see the more information about it in one go, including the tags and the origins, the remotes. What else is interesting? How are we doing on time? Don't know. Keep going. I'm sure if people get bored, they can just leave. But thanks for sticking this far. I hope you're finding it useful. Comments, please. If it's YouTube, drop me a message. All this stuff. Start the GitHub. Show a bit of interest and love. Let me know. Let me know if it works or doesn't work. What you like, what you don't like. Please share the word about these tools. Quite keen to, having put a load of effort into these open source tools, spread it a bit further. Do post it to whatever your favorite online watering hole is. But if you think it's useful, share it one-to-one as well. That's not to be underestimated as valuable. Right, so back to tags. So then, for example, let's go back to the counting readmes. We can limit that to C# or Rust. So git pulls can take a while if you've got a lot of repos. So you might want to limit your git pull to the repos that your team is on, even if you've got everything else checked out. Where next? Right, I think probably the next thing to jump to, which is I think one of the killer features of this as a thing, is now we're in this state where we have this gitopolis file. So you're all happy, you're up and running. Now you have a new team member join, or your machine blows up and you need to set up again. If you've got a lot of repos, that can be a real faff. So what we can do is, it's very annoying that these resize themselves whenever I do that. Oh, it's forgotten the zoom, that's why. Excuse me. There's no way of turning off this terminal, changing its size when I zoom, which is very irritating. I would really like to disable that as a thing. So let's make another folder called new starter and go be in that one. So now we've got where we were and some other machine. Nothing in here. Oh god, we've got to get everything up and running again. What a faff. Now we can drop the file. What's it called? Demo dot. We can literally give the gitopolis file to someone, so you could put it on a share somewhere or stick it in Git somewhere confusingly, and get it onto the new machine. And then I'm really pleased with this. I don't know if anyone else thinks this is as good as I do. I have helped a few people get up and running with this, and they seemed really positive about this as a useful thing. And it looks like this. So we have a config in the current folder. Download and install gitopolis, which has NAFL dependencies. It's literally just a binary because it's statically linked binary. You put it in somewhere in your path and you're good to go. If you want that available in your favorite software manager thing, please open an issue. Let us know. Maybe even help getting it packaged would be really cool. Gitopolis clone, 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 clone. Amazing. And then that's it. Your new starter has all the right repos for their bit of the project. It respects the tags as well. So let's say I'm going to just make a new starter 2 folder, and let's grab the config again. So now we're a second new starter, and they want to clone, but they only care about the Rust. Oops, minus. So you can use short or long options. So I'm going to Just use the -t for tag. And there we go, they only get the one they care about because they're a Rust developer. But if they change their mind, then maybe they want the C#. And it's idempotent, so if you run it again, it'll go, nah, you don't need that. Got that already. So it's pretty good to use, in my personal opinion, even though I'm completely biased. But, you know, I built it because I needed it. I've used it an absolute ton. Like, you know, running lines of code, counters across a new repo just to get a feel for the shape of it, stuff like that. Wonder if I can do that. So I've got a slot count thing. See if that works. Well, that is way too noisy. But you get the idea. I mean, you can fiddle with the information. Yeah, this is... I'm sure I have another one. Ah, there you go. I've got a different slot counter. This one is... yeah, whatever this is. It's a better one. Like, it knows what toml is and what have you. So yeah, we've got the counts for each thing, or you can, you know, pass in options and summarizing using the shell stuff. Is there anything else worth showing on this thing? Add, remove, obviously, not very interesting to show, but it does what it says. List we've looked at. As I say, the long mode's kind of useful. Tags, long mode is useful. So you can actually use it to add metadata to your repos to like document, oh, this is owned by this team and what have you. Much like the GitHub topics, which you can kind of abuse for that. Sync, oh yeah, I should explain sync, oh, there's show as well, which is a way of showing all the details in a sort of human readable form. Move I added because it turns out that if you change the directory of one of the repos, so if I like, let's have somewhere to put this, so I don't know, solution things, and then move solution. So if I were to, right, I won't do it the wrong way. If I was to just use the file system to move solution editor and solution items think into the subfolder, then I would then have to manually update this config file for gitopolis to be able to find it again, or remove it and add it, and then it loses its tag, so it's a faff. So I added a gitopolis move, which will then take that and put it in there, or not. Oh, right, yeah. Move repo. I've left some room to move other things. And then the same for solution item sync to solution. Oh dear. Oh dear, I obviously needed a slash. Oh dear. Demos. Yes, I didn't put the slash on. That was silly, wasn't it? Let's quickly undo that. Da, da, da. Right, let's do that again. So apparently need the slash on the end. Okay, this is not behaving. Maybe there's a bug. I don't know. Trash solution. Start again. Clone. This is kind of handy. Quick way of just being like, because I know that Git always has a way of getting yourself out of a mess, but this does make it kind of easy to go, bin the repo, do it again. Oh look, and it's remembered the path name. That all went wrong, didn't it? Maybe I'll go and be new starter 2 and then see if I can get the move to work. If this doesn't work, then this is going to be a bug report, isn't it? Gitopolis, move, repo. Old path, new path. Oh, maybe I need the full path. Maybe this is a usability problem and I'm just being silly. Move repo, that one to that one. Yeah, I suppose it's, yeah, I'd forgotten. I'd done this in the Unix way, where the mv move command is also how you rename things. I did that quite recently as well. You'd think I'd know. There we go. So now it's in solution. That's better. And then if I, sorry, I would edit it out, but yeah. Where is it? Yeah. So now, if you pass this around, and someone clones, it'll show up in the subfolder, and it knows where to find it. So if like I run a pull, it's not going to trip up. Right, there we go. What else? Yes, I need to explain sync. I had a client where the Git repos were on the move from one hosting provider to another, and obviously a significant amount of the world just uses GitHub, but that is not the entire world. Some use GitLab, some are very out of date and use all sorts of archaic things. Git is incredibly flexible. You could put it on a file share, you could put it on another folder on your own drive. You can do just so much stuff. So I won't demo it, but it does what the help says, which is it allows you to synchronize this information from the gitopolis file with git remote. No, don't remove. With this information from the .git metadata about where, and it can do it in either direction. So depending on whether you've updated your remotes in the repo and you want to get your gitopolis config up to date, or you have maybe received a new copy or whatever, and you want to update the remotes in the Git repositories. Like let's say your organization does a move of all of the Git repos from GitHub to GitLab. Oh, hello. Apparently there's a viewer. Is that just me? I don't know who else would be up at this time. And that's thrown me. I don't expect people to actually watch my videos. Yeah, let's say your organization is moving all the microservices from GitHub to GitLab. So you're the developer doing the move. So you would maybe faff around with your remotes locally and pull from GitHub and push to that one. And then, right, okay, yours is all in a good state. So you might then update the gitopolis config with all the new remotes, and then give that to your teammates. And all your teammates, instead of saying, oh, reclone everything, or the other alternative, which is for them to go through and manually update the remotes on everything, which they can do, and there's even some cool things about getting it to flip remotes dynamically, which I can't remember the commands for. You can give them this and say run sync, and then it will update all of their remotes, in theory. I think that's about it. I should probably stop talking about it now. Gitopolis. Anything else? Help move. Yeah, I think that's about the size of it. I found it very useful. I'm very pleased with it. It is AGPL, the most copyleft of the open source licenses. There's no commercial aspect to this whatsoever. I had fun building it. The GitHub Actions are kind of interested if you're interested in that kind of thing. If people want to spread the word and help it get packaged for other platforms, that would be really cool. I think this is really valuable, and maybe other people do too, or would if they knew about it, because I don't think many people know about it. It's only 39 stars. I think it's got a long way to go before the people that could really benefit from it actually are even aware it exists. What else we got? Yeah, I've got loads of things that I've thought of that would be cool, or little issues. TOML format, like I could do with improving, but I'm not going to do that without a V2 because it's breaking change. Could do with man pages, that would be kind of nice. In theory, autocomplete of tags, that would be kind of cool. If you've got issues with your SSH prompting, that can be a bit of a hassle. We potentially do something about that. Packaging. Yeah, lots of things we could do, but also an absolute ton of stuff that I've run into, thought about, done, and a long history on the code base. So yeah, that's Gitopolis in a not particularly small nutshell. So yeah, give me a shout, start the repo. Thanks for watching. That is the end of the stream.